Well, hello my friend, welcome to the channel. In this video, I want to show you 5 things that I use to make this painting right behind me more engaging for the viewer. My name is Sergio Gomez. I'm an artist, curator, gallery owner, author, and co-founder of the Art Next Level program. And my goal with this channel is to make marketing and art business easy so that you can grow your art career, find new opportunities, sell more art, and spend more time creating in the studio. So if you like that, make sure you click on the subscribe button and click on the little bell so that you receive notifications of our future videos. Well, my friend, welcome back to the channel. Super excited that you are here. Typically in this channel, you will find things about your marketing, your sales, your art business. And once in a while, just like today, I talk about my art. So today I want to show you behind the scenes this painting right here that is called Between Fear and Faith. And this painting is my latest painting. It was created in 2026, month of March. And it's a very special painting for me. And what I want to do is I want to tell you like 5 specific things I did when creating the painting to make it more engaging. So when people come and see this painting, they feel like they can engage with it, right? They feel trapped by it. They feel like, there's something else here that brings them into the artwork. And these are 5 things that you can use in your own art as you create your own work and adapt these things to maybe what you're doing right now in the studio to make your artwork more engaging for the viewer. So, well, let's get a little closer. What I'm going to talk about first is scale. The scale of the artwork is extremely important. So I wanted to create a painting that when the viewer is in front of it, we feel like we are in the middle of a storm, that the storm is taking place and we have no escape, right? The idea is that this storm has to wrap you as the viewer. So scale was important because if I had done this in a small 8x10, for example, it wouldn't have the same appeal. So scale was really important, the physicality of the painting, so that the viewer, as they approach the gallery, as they come up close, now they are right participating in here, in the scene, in what's happening. They can look up, they can look left, they can look right, they can look bottom, and there's something around them. And I've seen that happening as people have come to the show or to my studio to see this painting since I released it. And do people feel trapped? They do feel, and often they say, oh, I feel like I'm in the storm, or I feel like I'm in the boat. So that's one thing, scale. Think about what is it that you want to portray right now? What is the message that you want to really give to the viewer? And think about how scale matters for that. The second thing I want to talk to you about is the position of the various elements here in this painting. The main element that you will see is the boat. The boat right here is so important. And for this, let me tell you a little bit about what's the story behind this painting. So this painting is inspired by the story in the Gospels of the Bible where Jesus walks on water, right? So the point of view that I wanted to give from that particular narrative is I wanted to put the viewer inside the boat. So it was very important, the position of the boat, the ship, within the painting. So occupying probably about 1/4 of the painting. If you were to divide this into 4 quadrants, the lower left, that's the entire ship. It is also painting in such a way that it's tilted to the side, so that adds also visual tension, right? Emphasizing the idea that there's a storm right next to us, right behind us, and there is motion, there's movement. So what I have done is for this painting, I have made it in such a scale and also in such a way that in the perspective makes us feel like we are inside the boat. We as the viewer are inside of this boat. And we are participating in the storm that way. Not only that, but if you look at the various rows in the boat, so the next one seems like this is where we are at. This is where we are standing right next to that figure behind us. So as the distance happens, with perspective, the figures get smaller. And we are the largest ones because we are right here standing inside the boat. So that creates a certain engagement, right? Where people feel like, wow, I feel like I'm inside the boat. And in fact, people do say that when they come and see this painting. Now, the third thing that I did on this painting is work with a monochromatic palette. What does that mean? That means that I use basically one main color. Although in the process I added other colors, but the one final, as you see as a final piece, it's blue, right? There's this like strong blue surface all throughout. And because I wanted to emphasize a night scene, I wanted to, by the process of removing non-essentials, colors, right, just kind of focus on this monochromatic view, almost like when you also put goggles, those like night vision goggles, or if you are out at night, particularly in the sea, then that also emphasizes that idea. And by doing a monochromatic piece, then it also engages you more because, and I've seen this at the gallery, people walking, in the front of the gallery, and then like that one giant blue painting grabs their attention. They want to come and they see it, right? There's something about color when you emphasize a particular color and remove any other colors, that kind of brings attention to itself. So by the process of subtracting non-essential colors, I focus on a single color, making a monochromatic painting that in this case also brings attention to itself. The fourth thing I did on this painting as I constructed the image to make it more engaging for the viewer is the idea of depth, creating a sense of depth. And I already talked about the boat and the scale of the boat, and also the intensity of the darkest color in the painting is the deeper blacks are on this lower left-hand side, emphasizing again these are much closer to us versus, for example, other shades of black that are also present in the painting being much softer, not as deep or strong. So that creates again a sense of depth, not only by scale but also by definition, by saturation of color and density of color, and also by those elements which are closer to us being more defined versus those who are farther out in the distance being more like blurry or softer. For example, in this case of the light here, which is the Jesus walking on water section, right? Let's call that way, where even the horizon line is blurred. There's not a definite horizon line. We see that it is somewhere in this area, but it is even blurred in that sense. The figure, if you see it as well, it is kind of blurry. And actually, in the account of this story, the passage says that when the disciples were in the boat at night and in the storm, and they saw this person from a distance, right? They didn't know it was Jesus walking on water, but when they saw that presence, they thought it was a ghost. So that gave me the idea that perhaps there was like this brightness, there was this illumination around him. So that's why I have made him like with light and brightness and totally almost in abstraction, right? So it's way far at the distance. This is at the point where they have not figured out who's that person walking on the water. And the fifth thing, and perhaps the more interesting in my opinion of them all, is the idea of I love when a painting gives you as much as when you are close as when you are far away. So for example, if you get close to the painting, there's a high level of abstraction. If you look at all these markings, you see the paint dripping, you see splashes of paint, you see all the layering, and you see that on the, pretty much everywhere in the painting, particularly on the areas of the ocean, where they become almost like pointillism, almost, abstract, totally abstract paintings, if you were to cut this section right here. And I love that somebody can be up close in the painting and enjoying, discovering, the mark-making aspects of the painting. But as you get farther out, you will start to see more defined painting. And that is what I enjoy. That's what I find also that people enjoy about the artwork when they are able to see it up close. But then when they pull back, now all of a sudden they find a more defined story. The narrative now begins to unfold. And I love when a painting can do that because it brings a level of engagement of the viewer where not only what you see from a distance is exactly what you see when you're up close, but you're able to see that those variations, right? How the eye kind of does the blending for you from a distance, and up close you get to enjoy the richness of the surface. And that, my friend, gives you like 5 elements that you can think about when you're making your work to make sure it's engaging for the viewer. These things happen not by mistake or by chance, but by design. As I planned this painting, as I figured out the positioning, the size, the color scheme, the way I was going to create the work, I was thinking about these 5 things specifically to make a painting that was highly engaging. And so far, it has been quite successful. It's only been released for a few days, and the feedback that I'm getting from people both online as well as the ones who have seen it here in person is absolutely fabulous. And hopefully this list of 5 things, something that also can help you make your work more engaging. And again, not everything has to be large in size. You can have a highly engaged painting that is this size, but because it makes sense as well of what the message that you want to portray. But wait, before you leave this video, if you are an artist who wants to grow your art career and wants to achieve greater success, make sure you check out the Art Next Level program. You'll find a link under this video. Don't forget to subscribe and check out the next video that we have recommended just for you.